So we're here enjoying our morning coffee, and my son, he thinks he's funny, calls me out on the carpet, and I thought, hey, what a great discussion for today, because he hates my driving.
It's because you drive like you're a grandma.
Well, because I am a grandma.
A young one.
What doesn't matter? I'm still a
Grandma
grandma.
Nelson drives faster than you.
I don't think my mom drives faster
Yes, she
than you.
does. I've seen her set cruise at 81 before. You set your cruise at 69 or 70. And
What's wrong with that?
It
This
takes forever to get places.
it doesn't take
Yes, it
forever to get
does. When we went
places.
down to Boston, I wanted to die because it took us longer than the GPS said it would. And I
That is
raced the
not
GPS.
true.
It is true.
That's not
It's
true.
100% true. It felt like it was 5 hours.
I'm just being safe.
No, you're being unreasonable.
I'm not being unreasonable. Driving the speed limit is being
Not even
unreasonable.
5 years ago, I watched you drive 90, 100 down to Purple Door, and now you do 70.
I was not driving 90 or 100 miles an hour to Purple
Okay, maybe
Door.
not 100, but you were still
I
doing a
think
good
I always
80.
did like 79.
No, you did more than that.
No, I didn't.
No.
No, I set the cruise at 79. Well, I happen to like my gas economy.
Your gas economy is not affected between 60 miles an hour and 85, and you'll get the same amount as long as cruise is set.
Who says?
Combustion engine mechanics. I could plug it into my code reader and show you while you're driving in live feed that your fuel economy will not be affected. It's only affected by stopping and going. That's the only thing that affects your fuel economy.
I don't see the need to go any faster than the speed limit. Why do you feel the need to go
Because
faster than the
everybody
speed limit?
else is going over it. You got to go with the flow of traffic. How are you going to live in Texas?
I'm gonna live in Texas just
Don't
fine.
you know there's a thing about Texas that if you don't go with the flow of traffic, they're just going to ram you off the road?
Yeah, I know that. I've been there. I
They
know.
do like 90.
But down there, their speed limits are a lot higher.
Not really.
Yeah, they are.
They're like 80, 85.
Exactly. Here, the highest is 70.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah, I'm driving the speed limit.
it's so annoying.
It's not
I'm so
annoying.
glad you weren't with me yesterday.
Why were you glad I wasn't with you
Because it
yesterday?
would have taken us 3 hours to get home.
It wouldn't have
Hour
taken
trip.
3 hours and an hour and a half trip to get home.
I can't really go to Green Bay with you anymore, Mom. It takes like 45 minutes.
It does not.
It feels like it.
It takes me 36 minutes to get to work. It's not a lot. I work on the I don't even know what side it would be.
I will admit, yesterday I did come across some anxiety I didn't think I would have after the accident, and I really didn't expect to have driving anxiety in a car.
Why is that?
I don't know, but like I immediately started having like the panic from a bike, like when I crashed the bike. Like as soon as cars were starting to like hone in on me, I kind of got a little nervous and I backed off a little. I did not expect that. I expected it on the motorcycle, but not in the car. And when I
Well,
rode the motorcycle over to help her with her car the other day, I was fine. But then yesterday, when I got on the highway, I had a lot of anxiety, like I was gonna crash.
is it because maybe there was so much traffic, obviously being a holiday weekend, that
Well, even between here and the split, when there wasn't much traffic, I started getting anxiety when cars started to come up on me.
that's
I
interesting.
didn't really expect that. I knew for sure I would have some anxiety on a motorcycle, but in a car, I really wasn't anticipating that, and it was really kind of a scary thing. Like,
Kind of eye-opening that you should probably drive the speed limit and
no,
not worry about
I feel like
speeding.
my cruise set at 79. In your field economy, averaged at like 37.
But when I drive, it averages at like
Big
44.
freaking deal.
It
You have like a
saves me
15
money.
gallon tank. It saves you a total of like $6 a tank. If
Well,
that.
I
It's
mean,
probably
food's
like
expensive nowadays.
if I do the math, it probably comes out to $3 and some odd cents. Going 79 opposed to 70.
Well, let's be
With
real.
cruise set. Okay, so if you're just having your foot on it without cruise, you're gonna burn more gas. I
Right.
drive with cruise 100% of the time because
Right.
it's for fuel economy.
Well, I drive with cruise all the time too, just because my foot gets tired and I don't want to sit there and push the
Yeah,
gas all the time.
yeah. But cruise is good for fuel economy.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, so you setting your cruise at 76 will give you the same fuel as 70. The exact
But
same.
I'm not going to get there any quicker going 76 miles an hour as
Okay, so
opposed to 70.
the other thing I don't like about your driving anymore is you used to be a very aggressive driver. Now you're very, very, very defensive. You will not switch lanes unless you absolutely have to. The person's doing like 50. you'll still stay behind them until they get down to really slow. Instead of weaving in and weaving back and weaving in, you just stay in that lane and hope they get off. Like that's what drove me
Oh,
nuts when we went down
but
to
you're
Boston.
really calling me out on the carpet here.
Because you used to be a driver like me, and it's like something went wrong.
Nothing went wrong. It's just a matter of I just drive the speed limit.
Like I learned half of my driving skills from you, like watching you drive growing up, because I was always
That's
with you.
probably the worst thing you could
Yeah.
have done. Let's
But
be honest.
the other
My
half,
driving sucks.
the other half I obtained through professional driving, DOT, and SIP training. But like you used to be a good driver, weaving in and out, speed, left plenty of room between cars. Like, well, you still do that, but now you leave extra. But I don't like your driving anymore. I don't like it when you're driving.
Well, then you can do all the driving. I have no problem with that. I
So
literally, you can do driving Miss Daisy. I am absolutely 100% fine with that.
it was. I was so thankful you went with me yesterday, though, because it would have taken us forever to get through Oshkosh.
It still took you forever to get out of Quick Trip.
Yeah, once I got on the road, it was at a dead stop, but I did a lot of lane changing.
It probably got you nowhere.
Oh, it got me really far.
Um,
For the first, like, between Appleton and Green Bay, it didn't get me very far, but then once I started getting into the 3 lanes, it got me way ahead.
I literally can't believe you call me that I do grandma driving.
You do.
Because I'm a grandma. I mean, let's get that
Well,
straight.
it wouldn't bother me if I didn't already know how else you could drive, like how you drove previously. If you would have driven like you do now all the time, then I wouldn't have an issue with it. But the fact that you went from Fast and the Furious down to freaking
I don't feel like I ever drove Fast and the Furious
really,
much.
I have a hip that got smacked into a box of donuts that argues different. Coming back from Milwaukee. Because if you would have driven
I
the way
feel
you
like
drive
that
now, I
hip,
wouldn't have
for
fallen.
the record, I feel that hip going into the donuts was not 100% my fault.
Well, it was when you're switching lanes fast as hell and hitting the brakes and speeding up. Like that was good driving.
But I still don't feel like that box of donut incident that we are referring to
Okay, it
was
was
not 100%
no,
my
it was
fault from the
not.
driving.
No, I mean it was situationally my fault, but still, the driving was significantly more improved.
I did have my grandkids in the car too. What the heck?
You did, yeah, and your daughter.
And my daughter. I don't know. Maybe I just don't feel the need to do that
If I
anymore
give you
when
an armored
driving.
vehicle, will you go fast again?
Huh?
If I give you an armored vehicle, will you go fast again?
No.
I'll fix my truck and then you'll do 100.
No. I don't think I ever will. I don't think one, a lot of it now is I sit in the car and go the speed limit because I know I have that designated time of alone to get inside my head and think of all the things I need to do. So to
Yeah.
me, I cherish those two drives, the 36 minutes there and 36 minutes back, only because my phone tells me how long it takes to just decompress and then get into the modes that I have to get into. Because
I
on
get
the way
that.
there, it's preparing to, walk in and deal with so many different aspects of the job that I deal with. And then on the way back, it's doing the reverse. It's business planning. It's thinking of what our next podcast is going to be, what designs are going to be on the merchandise. It's all those things. And then also thinking of other business plans. So,
I get that, but when we have a trip to go 3 hours away, you need to abandon that style driving.
well, then what's going to happen is you're just going to drive.
Absolutely.
Perfect. See, I'm glad we got this out on the table.
So I beat the GPS.
Even though you literally called me out on the carpet.
It's terrible.
It's not that terrible.
It's terrible. I mean, I would much rather ride with you driving than my sister, but um, because at least I know we can get there alive.
So you're saying if you rode with your sister, there's a 50-50 chance you're not getting
There's
there
a
alive?
70% chance I'm not getting there alive.
That's awful.
Like she terrifies me.
Well, she was trained by her father, so I mean that says a lot.
Yeah. I mean, even back in the day when I let her drive my Buick to the gas station, she scared the shit out of me.
Why would you let her do? Oh, never mind. I remember that night too. Yep, you were drunk and
She
she.
drove me and our cousin to the gas station.
Yep, she sure did.
Yeah, that was terrifying. She really rode that brake hard. She jerked us back and forth a lot.
And being drunk, I'm surprised you didn't throw up in the car.
I didn't puke much in my drinking days.
That's actually a good thing. But
I was never really a puker.
so I increase your road rage when I'm driving.
Not my road rage, just my normal rage.
You know,
Like, come on, we need to go. Like, I'm a person who's very time oriented. Like, we need to go. Like, and somehow you turned over the last couple of years. Was it your car getting smashed up that made you drive slower?
no, because I've been in multiple accidents, so it
No,
won't.
I meant the fear of another one getting smashed.
It might have something to do with that, just because of the whole situation with Bethany destroying my Trailblazer and her not paying attention. So maybe I am hyper vigilant now and paying attention. And
Because I noticed yesterday my driving style has been changed since I had my accident. Granted, it was on a motorcycle, not a car, but I've noticed I leave more lead room than I normally do.
that I always do, and I've done that since I think since I started riding motorcycles, that I have done more. One, because I injured my knee, and I know that I'm going to need a little bit more distance if I have to put my leg down. So I don't know if that riding motorcycle transcends into driving a car, but I know a lot of
It
it.
didn't do that. It wasn't because of that, but because I've always been able to. Because anytime I'm in a car, I'm usually close following. Because I know if I get in a wreck in a car, I'm fine. And I knew on a previously, I thought on a bike if I got in a wreck I would die, but apparently that's not true. But I noticed I followed really further back because I was nervous of getting hit. Especially yesterday when there was just everybody and their brother was out last night. Yesterday,
Well, and it was a matter of, it was a holiday, so it makes it
yeah,
even worse. But
there's so many accidents. I think that's why my anxiety went through the roof yesterday was just because of the accidents.
in seeing him on the road.
Yeah, and I mean it's like I got really bad anxiety when a bike passed me when we were at a dead stop, and he was being an idiot because he drove between the two lanes.
So he's lane splitting.
No, we were out both lanes were dead stopped, and this guy was just driving down the middle of us.
Yeah, that's called lane splitting. That's where, because it's
Well,
legal in Wisconsin for bikes to do that.
yeah, but he was making me nervous because constantly there was cars going back and forth. Like,
Yeah, because how would you know if the car's not going to
yeah,
see him?
no, God, no, because they're not expecting a bike to come up the middle of the lane.
Right.
So I mean, I've done the far outside before, but I've never gone up the middle.
Yeah.
Just on the off chance someone's just going to quickly swerve, which happened a lot yesterday. When
Because
I
people
saw that
aren't
guy, it
paying
made me
attention. They're
nervous.
not paying attention because they're busy thinking, "Oh, I
frustrated.
gotta get to my destination. I have to get." You're gonna get to your destination. It may be a little later than you wanted, but in the end, you're still gonna get there.
Yeah, I guess every single time. Oh, excuse me. I came to a dead stop. It wasn't any more than 10 minutes. I mean, which to some people that's a lot, but to me it wasn't that bad. But I never did lane switches when we were at stops because I don't trust stop switches because other people. I've
Right.
seen so many people just immediately go to merge in at the same time and just smack each other right in the
Hmm.
middle of a traffic stop. I've seen it all over every state I've been in. I've seen that. So I don't know. But my anxiety was significantly higher yesterday than it's ever been driving before. So I'm wondering if the motorcycle accident did a little more psychological damage than I thought.
And it very well could have. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, mine, it's purely maybe being as old as I am now, like 102 years old. I feel like I don't have to rush to get anywhere anymore. And I think when I was younger, even just a couple years ago, I always had to rush. I always had, you always had to do this because I need the extra time to do it. Now I think I time manage way better, and literally in the car, one is when I do my best thinking, desk business planning. It is truly my only like alone time in my head.
Yeah, I get that.
Because once I get home, I don't get the same feel. I don't create the same feel. I think that's why I do it. And to me, I'm gonna get there in the end anyway, so why rush?
I don't know, but if we're going further than a half hour away, I'm driving for now on.
Totally fine.
It's really drives me crazy.
I can't believe it drives you that much
I
crazy.
can get to Marinette in 17 minutes. It takes me 25. And that's 6 minutes or 7 minutes drives me nuts. 'Cause I'm so pattern oriented. I think that's why it drives me crazy. Because I know that I can beat it and we're not beating it. And that's what drives me nuts. But that's just because I'm very schedule driven, pattern driven.
I think I am schedule driven,
Well, you are, but you also plan
but
ahead, and
I plan ahead.
I plan ahead too, but I like the bonus time.
Yeah, to me, the bonus time doesn't matter anymore because it really is, it's pennies. It's not,
Yeah.
I think if the bonus time would have been equated into like an hour, then it makes a difference. But if it's not going to be more than just a few minutes, to me, it doesn't matter anymore because it's not gaining me anything. And in actuality, I'm gaining more time thinking and planning in my head. Thus, the reason I have my mini recorder or my recorder on my phone to put down the ideas. And
I think a lot of mine comes too from driving over the road for work. Was when it's a 7 hour trip, and if you're doing speed limit, it's going to take you a long time. So that could be where mine is too. I'm pre-programmed to work over the road, and you're hauling butt because you got to get there. And that
yeah,
extra few minutes helps when you get there because then that's quicker you get to your hotel room after you set up.
and
So
that is a good
that
point.
could be why I'm so driven on making sure I'm a little bit ahead of the schedule. Because I always had to be there before my guys were there. So, and if I left later, I had to make up for that. But that could be why I'm so anal about going faster. But I
Yeah.
also don't drive at ridiculous speed either. Like
Well, no.
I have a fine line between ridiculous and too slow. So I like to ride around 79. That's where I like to ride.
I think if I was going longer distances, I probably would put it to 76, 79, but going strictly to Green Bay and back, to
The
me, it just
fact that you
doesn't.
set that cruise at 70 just drives me nuts. Just ask
You
to
do
take
realize
it.
that I'm literally going to do that from now on.
You still do it anyway, so it's not gonna hurt me.
Yeah, true. I'm going to do it no matter what. So, sorry, can't help it.
Like the one time when we were coming back from Austin that day, I'm like, why is this taking so long? And I looked over and you had your cruise set at 70. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I'm like, why don't you just put it up to 75? Like every other car on the road. Like we were officially the slow
Maybe I
people on
don't
the
want to
highway.
be like everybody
Well,
else.
we were officially the people holding up the people on the highway.
Wonderful. I'm glad I could
No,
piss someone off.
I don't like being that guy.
Well, I love being that person.
Not a nice person to be.
It isn't.
It was pretty cool because the highway department put up on their signs, camp in the woods and out in the left lane yesterday. It's the first clever one I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I saw that one when I was driving in yesterday to work, and I looked up and I'm like, I don't know what made me chuckle on that. So many different things,
Well,
but
normally it's a really dumb one-liner they got up there, but that was a pretty good one. Apparently, someone must have been going to work and got stuck by someone in the left lane.
or it was a matter of someone got stuck in that left lane and they had a camper in front of them and thought, hey,
Yeah,
let's do this.
I want to know who's in charge of those signs. I really do, because I got some suggestions.
The DOT.
Never mind, I don't want to talk to them.
No, because you're going to be busy going 90 down the road and think
No,
you're going to get away.
no, the DOT has caused more turmoil in my work life than any other organization besides OSHA.
Well,
The
they
DOT
just want to
can't
make sure
shove it up their ass.
they want to make sure you're safe.
No, they don't. They want to make sure they get their end out of the fucking fuel economy and make sure that what they're getting is more fuel economy burn, more fuel maintenance burn, so they make more money, more registration to the DMV. The DOT is an organization designed to make you spend more money.
Isn't every organization that way?
It could be, now in Wisconsin it is because of our wonderful people at power.
But I mean, if you think about it, in order to make money, others have to spend it.
Yeah, but they don't need to be spending our money. They can take a pay cut.
Good luck with that. That's a whole different topic
I
that we're
know
going
that's
down.
a topic we need to hit is public officials working for free.
Yeah, that's for another day. Today is the fact that you called your mom out on the carpet because she drives slow now because I'm a grandma.
You were a grandma before and didn't drive slow. Was
Well,
the third
now,
grandchild enough to make you snap?
yeah. Well, that one did, yeah. Let's not go down that rabbit hole either. She's a whole different person. She's a whole different human being.
Yeah, she's on a different evolutionary scale.
But yeah, just know that your adult children are going to call you out on the carpet no matter what, especially when it comes to your driving.
Well, I also have a theory that after a certain age, you should just take away everyone's license because they drive too slow. And that driving too slow is actually causes more accidents than anything else besides cops. And I can say
Yeah,
that because I have,
cops and accidents do cause the most
yeah,
other accidents.
yes, cops pulling people over in condensed traffic is a dick move because that causes so many accidents. Because or just cops sitting there when there's heavy traffic that shouldn't be allowed. They should have to go sit somewhere else because people slamming on their brakes when everyone's flowing nicely at 80, and then someone slams their brakes and then
And then it
causes
just causes a
backups.
trickle down effect. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do agree on that
So
one.
cops should not be allowed to sit anywhere in the middle if there's heavy traffic like yesterday. They should just be told they're not allowed to do that because that causes more accidents than they're preventing. Them pulling someone over for 80 is a dick move when everybody's doing 80 and it just caused a backup for 5 miles. So I think that combined with slow drivers is the two biggest causes of accidents on our roads.
Fine. I will set my cruise at 72 now. Does that make you a little happier?
Yeah, it's better. Not by much, but I've driven in a lot of states and long distances a lot for work, and I've seen more accidents caused by slow drivers than fast drivers. Especially slow drivers when the flow of traffic is fast. That's why I don't know how you're gonna make it in Texas.
I'm gonna make it in Texas.
I've
I'll be
driven in
just
Texas.
fine.
Texas is a war zone on the highways. Like
I've
you
been
put,
on the highways in Texas. I
yeah,
drive
that was
just
years
fine.
ago. That was before you started driving slow. How are you gonna do it now? You're gonna have to hire a driver.
Doesn't sound like a bad idea. Do you know how much more stuff I could get done if I hired a driver?
Yeah, your phone
I
does
like
ring
your
a lot.
thought. I like your thought process on this. Set up a Wi-Fi station and everything in the back seat. Put the computer in the phones. Yeah, it would be perfect. I like your thought process.
Yeah, I think you need a driver.
I need a driver. I can get so much more done.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll set it at 72.
All right. And
All right.
that was our conclusion.